Alright guys, JFK Performance here. I don't have a lot of time today, but we're going to get started on this large case cruiser matic build. So I'm going to go over a few things with you. Mainly today, all I'm going to have a chance to do is probably assemble the forward and direct drums. And we're going to take a look at bushings and thrust washers and things like that. Now this unit, the thrust washers and bushings were, pretty dark and burned looking, but on this unit or any of these old antiques, I know the natural reaction when you see something ugly like that is to just, we need to replace it. Well, this is not a unit that's easy to get these kind of things for, and it also can be very expensive too, and sometimes you even have to make bushings and thrust washers. So we're going to really take a look at stuff and see, alright, do we really need to replace it, or are we just trying to get rid of it because of cosmetic reasons? And I think you're going to find most of the time on these units, any of these small, medium, and large case cruiser matics, generally most of your bushings hold up really well, your thrust washers hold up really well. It's actually pretty rare that you have to replace them if you want to know the truth. So I'm going to kind of show you how to deal with that a little bit. So let's start taking a look at stuff. So this here, I've cleaned this surface up. Now I have a lathe and I spin these on a lathe and I use emery paper on it. And I understand most of you guys might not have a lathe, and you don't need to have a lathe for that. But just, here's what I don't like. Guys take those little Scotch-Brite wheels on a, like an air grinder, and then they'll go around this. And I don't like that. I'm not saying it's necessarily going to be a problem, but I don't like it. Just take your paper and kind of go with the grain here. Go in this direction. Don't swirl and do all this stuff. The goal for this stuff is not to make it rough and wear in the bands. And I know there's a lot of theories on this. Just make it smooth. You don't have to micro polish it or anything, but just go in this direction and just, you're just taking the glaze off of it. Okay, that's all you're really trying to do. And I did that already on this. And then this is where the intermediate band rides on the direct drum. I've done that already. So that's all good. And on your bushings here, you can see this bushing looks real nice and shiny and new looking. And that looks pretty good in there as well. I didn't replace them. What I did is I've got just some green Scotch-Brite. You can use the red or the green. Gray would probably be fine. They're just different grits. You can probably get some from your wife, in the kitchen or something, using the scrub pots and pans or whatever. Nothing fancy. Just take that and go over these bushings and clean them up. But more importantly, I don't really care about that, but if you're kind of like one of these appearances everything kind of guys, go ahead and do that. But, check the fit. Check the fit on the mating parts and see if they're really worn. You want your clearance to be, I'd say you want at least 2 thousandths clearance. Kind of like an engine bearing. So, you want at least 2 thousandths, maybe as much as 4 thousandths, 5 thousandths maybe. Any more than that, then maybe you want to consider replacing it. But, again, you got to make sure it's a bushing you can actually get. And I've done that with this. And I didn't even do this on the lathe, I just took a little piece of this Scotch-Brite and just went inside there, and it just makes it look nice, like maybe you did replace the bushing, but again, the fit is more important. So just because something's a little dark Doesn't mean you need to throw it away and do all that. Alright, so enough of that. Your bands here, if these need to be, these you cannot get, okay? I mean, maybe you can find somebody that has an old one, but they don't make them new. They have to be sent off to be relined if they're bad. Sometimes you can just take your Scotch-Brite and glaze break them, or some emery paper if they're just a little bit glazed but in really good condition. These I glaze braked. They're actually in really good condition, so we don't have to send those off, which is kind of nice. So I got a whole another table full of parts here. This here, if you've got this deal with the keyway, I took a little grinding wheel and the Dremel tool and I cleaned up all the burrs on this, because if you watch the first video, which you should, this governor sleeve or oil transfer sleeve, it wouldn't slide off of here. It would get stuck, and you don't never force this off, because you're just going to score the bore and make lines in this direction, and it can create cross leaks. So don't do that. And you can see that this is real easy to slide up and down once I deburred all that. Also, too, on this particular unit, it's nice if you have the slip yoke and make sure the slip yoke works good in this. You can see this thing's it's got some chips and stuff, and it seems like this style maybe gets beat up a lot. I don't know. This is a rare transmission. It's not something I've seen a lot of. So, alright. So what I'm going to do, I don't have a lot of time, so today I'm just going to assemble the direct drum and forward drum. And I've got, look at this, I thought this was interesting. Made in Israel. I have never seen that in my life. I hope they make good stuff. You don't have a lot of choices on frictions on these units. I think these are unique, but I don't know, who knows, maybe another unit fits these. I honestly don't know. So I'm going to grab the old frictions and steels, and I'm going to measure and compare. One thing you got to understand, limited choice on frictions and steels for something like this. So thicknesses might be different. We might need to use some of the old stuff to try to get the clearances right and all that sort of thing. The other thing too is, like, in here is those little needles that fall out, and I told you about in the last video. So I put them in a bag here. Do not lose one of these, because this could be a problem for you. Hopefully I didn't lose one. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take some thick grease and pack those back in. Be very careful not to lose them. If you lose one, don't contact me. I can't help you. This here, this bearing, it's a plastic. The needles are metal, but the cage is plastic. And it goes on here, on this output hub. If it's in good shape, it's probably okay to reuse it, but the plastic does tend to get brittle over time, and I worry that these little needles could potentially fall out of place. Sometimes when you take these apart, these are already falling out on you. This one so far is pretty good, but I'm trying to find a replacement, usually an industrial bearing, but I couldn't find the right one in inches. There's a 55 millimeter seems really close, so I'm going to order one of those and get that in and see if I can make that work. I'm not sure. Bearing's a little on the expensive side, but so anyways, I'm going to try to do that. I'll have to order that. I don't have that today. we'll do that on another video, see how that worked out. So alright, so first thing I'm going to do, here's our pistons for the forward and direct. I'm going to go through my gasket set here. Customer provided the gasket set and the clutches in this particular case, so hopefully I got what I need. You've heard me complain before about not having all the seals or having the right seals or some of the sealing rings not fitting on these. You've heard me do all that complaining in the past. So we'll see how we make out on this large case. So alright guys, I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to find the seal that goes in here. And then I'm going to find the seal that goes in here. And then the seal that goes out here. And the seal that goes out here. And I'm going to attempt to put the pistons in. And I will check back in with you, let you know how I made out. So one thing I want to tell you here, especially when you're dealing with something like this. So you want to make sure your sealing rings are the right ones. And it's very common in these old ones to not get good sealing rings or proper fitting sealing rings. So I would suggest, put one ring on, say just the outer, test fit, then take that off, put the inner in, test fit. If it both looks okay, then put them both on and install. I highly recommend that with this kind of situation. You really should do that on every transmission every time, but guys that build the same thing with the same kits all the time, but even then, once in a while you'll see a difference. Couldn't tell you why, but there are production problems at times. So, okay, I just wanted to give you that tip. And you want to use plenty of assembly lube on these too, because I'm a little, especially this one, this seal here, I don't know, this is going to fit really tight. And there's not much of a chamfer inside the drum. We need a lot of lube on it and probably a little bit of luck, because that's going to fit really tight. And that's the only seal in this kit that seems remotely close, so it's not like I have the wrong one in. Now, it doesn't mean the one that came in the kit is right for this, but alright, wish me luck. I'll be back again. I just wanted to give you those tips. Alright guys, trouble in paradise. So I got that together, that's fine. And this snap ring thickness, by the way, is about 95 thousandths. Because you're going to have 3 snap rings. Honestly, I don't know what the thicknesses of all 3 are. I kind of kept them separated, but sometimes they're different thicknesses, so you got to know what goes where. But this is the 95 thou one. Now, that was fine. That piston fits really tight, but it went in. This one, I made an attempt. I knew it was going to be a problem. There is just too much, it's too much of a press fit here. So, couple things. I could cut this groove deeper, but then, somebody goes to rebuild this again someday. Maybe they'll get a different seal kit, and now they won't have enough tension on it. God only knows. This is so frustrating with this old stuff. And this is what you run into. And this is why I tell people, customers, I don't know when these are going to be done. They can be a real challenge. Now, there's not much of a chamfer here. So what I'm going to try to do before I cut that seal, that I'll have to order another one, it'll take a week to get it, if I can even get it. Just that seal. I might have to buy another gasket set. I don't want to do that. Because I'm fortunate, I am going to put more of a chamfer on here, more lead in on the lathe to try to get this thing together. I know most of you guys are not going to be able to do that, but Maybe you have a guy that can help you out, you know, machine shop, local machine shop. You can get him a 6-pack of beer or something to do that for you. So I'm gonna try doing that. I don't know if it'll work, but there's just too much of a press fit here. The seal is just too damn thick, you know, or yeah, I mean, seal's just too thick, you know, and it's gonna almost was starting to get damaged already. I didn't want to push the envelope on it. I've been down that road, so, and I had plenty of lubrication on it, not that. Alright guys, I'm almost out of time for today, but I'm going to make a quick attempt at that before I leave, and we'll see how I make out, so hang on. Okay, so I made this chamfer bigger, and then with some emery paper I kind of smoothed this edge so that hopefully I can jam this piston in without cutting the seal. We'll see how it goes. So give me 1 minute. I'm going to need both hands for this gig, and we'll see if I can get this in. Be right back. Okay, I got it in. Was not easy. I had to use the spring compressor. So you can see I put the spring in here too. You're going to need a spring compressor tool for this. And I don't know, guys, you know, maybe you can get away with some C-clamps or something, but that's a pretty tight spring, so I don't want to see you get your front teeth knocked out. But anyways, so that seems to be in okay. It, you know, like I said, it took a lot of pressure to get it in, but we'll air check it and see how it goes. Once I get the clutch pack in, I'll do the air checks on it and make sure that piston is moving freely and not leaking. I didn't cut the seal or anything like that. I'm pretty used to putting these in, so it didn't feel like it got cut. It kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but you almost kind of know when they get cut. You know, when you're forcing something in and you know you shouldn't be, and you feel it get cut, and you're like, ah, no, I know I did it, you know. But I felt it just kind of squish in there because of the radius and the chamfer I put on that. So, you know, I don't know. I know sometimes you do-it-yourselfers get discouraged when I show you stuff like this. And, well, you're discouraging me from doing the job myself. I'm not trying to, but this is just what you got to be aware of. I don't know. You know, maybe somebody else has a better idea on these, but, you know, sometimes you just need tools, and it's a pain, but it is what it is. So, all right, I'm going to stop here for today. And I will continue on with this in another video. And we will try out our Made in Israel frictions. That ought to be fun. And, alright. That's it for now, guys. We'll continue on. But I think sometimes me showing you these things that are difficult, it helps you make a decision, you know, should I bring it to a shop, should I not, whatever. And I've said this a lot, I don't know how you build a transmission without a lathe. You can, but sometimes you get into stuff like this, you just need the damn lathe. I don't know how else to do it without it. Sometimes there's seal installers and things that help with stuff like this, but this has a lip on this piston, so you can't even make a seal installation tool for it with that lip there. So I don't know, that's the best way I knew how to do it, guys. I wish I had an easier method for you, but alright, thanks for watching this, and look for the next section.